record. How is everybody today? I'm super excited to have you here with us for day 4. Day 4 is my absolute favorite. So I am thrilled to have you here. And let me just get everything square. I'm excited that you are in my space and here for our masterclass today. So drop a hey in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And we will get started. My help is a little delayed today, so I'm on my own right now. So drop a hey, let me know where you are, where you're tuning in from. If you're watching live on Facebook and you can see us, give me a thumbs up so that I know that you're able to access that as well. If you're just tuning in and you're like, what's going on? Go ahead and register for the masterclass. This is the using food to fuel your goals, healthy habits for high achievers masterclass. And I'm excited to have you here. If you want to get registered, grab the replay link and your workbook. You can do that at veginspired.com/masterclass. That will also get you the Zoom link so that you can be in the room with us today. So if you are on Facebook, you can hit that registration up there, veginspired.com/masterclass, and join us in the Zoom room. As I mentioned all week long, I'm your coach. I'm here to serve you and help you explore your goals for eating more plants, really getting into the using food to fuel your goals mindset. We're here walking through strategies, mindset tips, habits, and everything I did to create the sustainable and intuitive eat more plants lifestyle. So regardless of where you are on your journey, we're here to help you. So let's see who we have. We have Karen, we have Kim, we're in Texas, California. Yes, Julie, I love that you all have your videos on. I think that's so fun. You know, I love to see you. So don't forget about our giveaways. I forgot to announced the winner early yesterday, and then forgot to announce the second winner. So before we even get started, I'm going to announce both winners, yesterday's winner and then the winner from last night's homework. But how do you participate in that? It's about participation. Being here, present in the workshops, commenting team live if you're live, commenting team replay if you're watching the replays, doing your homework, staying in contact with me, sending me messages, asking questions, being an active participant. That's what helps you get the giveaways. So let's do this. Our day 2 homework winner, who I forgot to announce mid-session yesterday, is Nikki Felton. Nikki, if you are live, let us know. Give us some cheers in the chat. You are our day 2 homework winner. Our day 3 homework winner actually registered a little late. You are here, caught up on day 3. So excited. Stephanie Bird, you are our day 3 winner. So if you're watching live, give us some love in the chat. If you're catching this as the replay, go ahead and send me a message. Let's get your contact information so that I can send you all of the information that I need for your giveaway. So we're excited to do that. I'm going to change hosts real quick so that I can be in here. I appreciate it. So if you are over on Facebook, give us some love, show me some fire in the chat. And remember, in order to maximize your time here in this class, I invite you to minimize those distractions. I know it isn't always possible in our busy hat wearing lives. And as I've said every day, as soon as I announce that we are in the using food to fuel your goals, that dang sneaky little cat jumps right up on the counter and looks out the window while I'm doing this, because no one is here to go over there and tell him to get down. He's just a silly little guy. So turn off the notifications, close your browsers, really be present, and find a place with few interruptions. I'm excited for you to be here. Day 4 is my favorite day because it truly is the life-changing system that made this all easier for me. So welcome to day 4 of the Using Food to Fuel Your Goals, Healthy Habits for High Achievers Masterclass. I'm your host, Kathy Davis, an international entrepreneur, founder of Veg Inspired, 3-time cookbook author, and a plant-based lifestyle coach. And for the week, I'm your plant-based lifestyle coach. I empower high achievers to 10x their energy, step into their optimum performance, and achieve their goals by leveraging the power of food. Our proven systems support eating more plants, fitting that into your fast-paced schedules without requiring hours in the kitchen, added stress, or wondering, what the heck am I going to eat? And I am on a mission. I'm dedicated to create a ripple effect to provide the resources and support to help others change their lives, allowing them to make a greater impact in the world and change other people's lives. So as I announced yesterday, there's lots of you with lots of questions. So I really want to make sure we get that answered. So I've gone ahead and added 4 bonus sessions. There'll be one, we have a regular session scheduled for tomorrow at noon. We'll also have a session Saturday at noon, a session only in Facebook on Sunday at noon. And then Monday, we'll be back in the Zoom room at noon Eastern, and then another final session on Tuesday at noon Eastern. So these sessions are really dedicated to answer the big questions that I've been hearing a lot of you talk about. One that's really been popular are social situations. So we will definitely address that in one of our upcoming sessions. Now there will be replays, but I'd love for you to put that on your calendar, that noon Eastern time, excuse me, and join us either in the room or on Facebook. So far this week, we've talked about your current habits with our healthy habit audit. We've talked about mindset, your why, and really letting your why drive your actions. We've talked about the foods. Now we're going to talk about the systems and the Veg Inspired framework. Systems are a busy person's best friend, right? We all love systems. It's so much easier if somebody just lays out the pathway for us and then tells us how to do it. They allow you to set the intention, plan the implementation, and even execute all of that in busy times. And we're all busy, right? In creating lifestyle change, these systems are necessary because they help you pave new habits. They help you pull up those old, deep-rooted habits and routines and help you pave new habits, new routines, all while keeping your goals and your intention front and center. So if you're like me, you've tried the dietary changes, right? I was the yo-yo dieter. I tried the plans. I weighed the food. I hired trainers. I did the programs. I did the counting, the measuring, the elimination of food groups. And I apologize for all the years I gave up carbs because now carbs are my best friend and I love you potatoes. And I'm so sorry that for so long I bullied you. But what I found was none of that worked long-term. It would be great. I'd be on a roll and then I'd fall off track and then bam, the next thing I know, I'm re-signing up, restarting on Monday. And it wasn't until I really changed my mindset and really leaned into the day-to-day habits, which is what we've talked about earlier in the week, with focusing on those daily habits, who I was becoming, the whole food, the clean food, plant-based eater, mostly unprocessed. I was able to have a tangible, intentional focus. I eat what I want until I'm full, and those are the foods I keep in my house. But before we get into tip number 1 for success, which is the planning, which I'm excited that we've got Jenny and Allison and Kim and Linda over on Facebook getting ready for the action. I love, love, love this. Before we get into tip number 1, I want you to take a minute and recenter on your goal. And I want you to write a positive, affirmative statement. Some of you might be familiar with this. We've done this in past workshops. Others you might not be. But I want to make sure before we move forward today that you're thinking in positive, affirmative actions, right? So my affirmation was, I am eating whole food, plant-based, mostly unprocessed foods at each meal or snack. That was it. That is it now. That's my focus. I'm eating whole food, plant-based, mostly unprocessed foods at each meal or snack. I still say it to remind myself. I have it at the top of my grocery list, right? To make sure that I'm in the grocery store and I'm not like, ooh, look, there's an Oreo, or ooh, potato chips sound good. They're on sale. We should get 2 bags instead of 1. I mean, really keeping that at the forefront of my mind, right? I write it on top of my meal plan so that I'm reminded that the meals that I'm picking should be mostly whole food, plant-based, minimally processed. So I really want you to start by writing it in the positive. And a lot of times people get really excited, they write it down, and then when we look back at it, we actually realize we wrote it negatively. So an example might be, and this is totally unrelated, I am getting out of debt. But what we're still focused on is that word debt. Or I am sticking to my diet. Still focused on diet and restriction. What we want to focus on is the positive side. So a better affirmation to say is, I am eating more plants every day. I am planning more plant foods into my meal. So it's a positive what you're going to do, and you're focusing the words in the sentence, the words in the statement are positive, inspiring, imperfect action words. I am making healthier food choices by selecting whole plant foods. I am happily and intuitively choosing whole, clean plant foods. I am intentionally choosing whole plant foods. None of those sound restrictive. None of those sound diety. None of those sound negative, right? You're not focused on, I am not unhealthy, right? Like we want to be focused on the healthy, the positive outcome. Look at the chat over on Facebook is going crazy. Jenny and Kim and Lisa, hello, hello, hello. Allison, Julie, I love it. Okay, so I want you to take a minute, I'll give you not very long, to really think about this positive affirmative statement that you can write at the top of your worksheet today, and then we'll move into the planning, because this really lays that foundation for intuitive lifestyle, this intuitive eat more plants lifestyle. If you want to share your comments in the chat, if you want to drop it in there and we can kind of, cheer you on. This is going to be part of your homework. So if you put something on your paper and later you refine it a little bit and you think to yourself, oh, this could be worded a little differently, or I like this intuitive word, this word inspiration better than I like this word, you can modify it. I have sticky notes on pantry cupboards, on the refrigerator. Like I said, the top of my meal planner. What is that focus, that positive focus? So take a minute to do that. I have a big tickle in my throat today. Must be so excited. Told you, day 4 is my #1 favorite. Okay. So now that you have your affirmation, like I said, feel free to drop it in the chat. Feel free to drop it in the comments on Zoom. We are super excited to have you here. So on to my #1 system for success in eating more plants is meal or menu planning. I use those terms interchangeably. It is about setting an intention and executing the intention. Now, some people are like, oh, I don't have time to plan. That's not a positive affirmation. Take it back a step. I make time to plan. I choose to plan. I am happily planning. I have clients now that have been doing this for 8 months that are like, I can plan in 10 minutes. John will say to me, oh, let's get groceries today instead of tomorrow. I'm like, all right, let me sit down real quick and do a meal plan. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. But just like with my RV lifestyle or a vacation that you take or business goals, you don't just shoot from the hip. You create a plan. You move forward with intention and action. So I'm going to share with you one of the easy ways to plan your dinners today. In the Academy, we have several variations and even some done for you meal plan templates to make this easier and help you fit it into your busy life. Today's variation is called routine planning. So it's really about leveraging the power of a routine. And of course, we add a little fun to it. This session will specifically focus on dinner because in my work and in my own experiences, I've really found that people get stuck with dinner. They can easily make breakfast. They follow the routine. They eat the same things for breakfast. They eat the same things for lunch. But where they get a little stuck or get a little overwhelmed is when it comes to dinner. So we're going to focus on dinner today. So what we do for meal plan routines, and if you've been here before. You may have seen this. Let me share my screen. Is we create the routine. Oh, dang it. Vanessa, can you make me the host so that I can share my screen? I forgot that part. So what we do is we start with the days of the week. So I like to routine as far as I can see. Thank you. And then we look at what we need to do for the, I'm going to give Vanessa back post. Okay. So we look at the routines. Now I'm going to upload this to the replay page and send it out. So you will have access to this. So you don't have to scurriedly and hurriedly write everything down, but we start with the weekly routines, the routines of the day. So these are just my examples. You don't have to follow this, but I start with stew Sunday. Maybe it's a tomato soup. Maybe it's a chili. Maybe it's a brothy, lentil soup or chickpea noodle soup. Maybe it's more of a potato chowder. And as I'm mentioning these ideas and recipes, some of them are linked at the back of your workbook. If you get, they're hyperlinked. So if you get the digital version, you can just click through those and then save them either to Pinterest or somewhere else. Or these are recipes that are in my cookbook. So if you see something on here and you're like, I really want that chickpea gyro recipe, just send me a message on Facebook or drop it in the comments and I'll come back and I'll link those in the thread or send it to you directly. So then we move on to Meatless Monday. Now, granted, I'm vegan, so all my meals are meatless, but in the event that you're not, and maybe you want to focus more on the context around foods that could be like meat, it's a veggie burger, chickpea gyros, mushroom fajitas, chickpea cakes, like crabless cakes, Taco Tuesday, right? We all love tacos. Maybe it's a grain or quinoa taco, tofu taco, veggie and potato taco, bean tacos. So as you can see, this is a 28-day plan. So if you simply printed this and rotated through all these recipes, you now have almost a month's worth of meals already planned out. It's simply figuring out the recipe or the meal idea and moving forward. Now, for some people, you don't need to cook every day. You could make the veggie and potato tacos and eat them for 2 or 3 days, depending on how many people you're serving. Others of you, you might be serving a lot of people. You may have to double a recipe, or you may have to cook multiple times. So when you're thinking about how to move forward with this, it is specifically designed to fitting it into your life. So in the Academy, we really work on, what does that look like? I'm cooking for one, Kathy. How can I do that? Well, maybe you make bean tacos on Tuesday. You only use half a can of beans because you don't want to make a full batch. And then the next day you make a bean sandwich or a bean wrap, or you add those beans to pasta to give you an alternative meal where you're piggybacking. So we really want to make sure that you're equipped to be able to modify the recipes, modify the plan so that it fits into your life, right? This isn't a one size fits all solution. This is really about taking you down your path. So moving on with the routines, we've got Wild Card Wednesday. Maybe your family loves specific foods, curries, pasta. Maybe it's grilled veggies and rice. Maybe you do a sandwich night because everybody's moving in 100 different directions and they can easily grab a scoop of chickpea salad and eat the sandwich or the wrap while they're running out the door to a sporting event or an evening event or meeting friends or whatever it is, and you've got food ready to go. I love bowls. I've talked about that before. Throw it all in a bowl, drizzle on a yummy sauce, and I'm good to go. Maybe bowl Thursday. Maybe you have a whole day set around it and you've got tacos or burritos, maybe a rice base, or as I said, a potato base. You could do the Italian farro bowl where you use farro as your pasta and then maybe some beans and greens on top of it, or, veggie meatballs. Maybe you do the potato queso bowl, which is potatoes, broccoli, and a yummy butternut squash queso, or my favorite, brown rice noodle bowls or noodle stir fries. Cook up all the veggies and mix them with the noodles, right? Really thinking about how you can maximize your time through this routine planning. And I know that I'm going kind of fast, but when we think about what we are looking for with these foods, this is easy. This simplifies it, right? You now can look at it and be like, okay, I get this. Like now I just need to plug in the meal ideas or the recipes that can make this happen. And eventually you'll be able to whip up chickpea gyros without even pulling out the recipe. You'll have your favorite chili that just comes naturally. And so when you focus on a specific variation of this planning, it really allows you to leverage the power of food, leverage the power of the time you have, and buy back some time. And isn't that what we all want? Don't we all want to be productive and buy back our time? So moving on, Fun Friday. Maybe you do homemade pizzas. Maybe for the family who still eats animal products, they order pizza out and you make your own pita pizzas, or you do build your own pizzas. Like Fun Friday, I usually see those as like super interactive. You know, you have all these toppings and everybody gets to make their own. Maybe it's Brinner, breakfast for dinner. Who doesn't love waffles, pancakes, and tofu scramble at dinner time? Like it's perfect. Maybe you do baked potato bars, you know, really thinking about fun ways that you can make eating more plants fun and exciting for everybody. And it allows you to modify recipes so that you're not cooking 3 different things like a short order cook, right? So really using this to make sure that you've got a plan in place. And then apps and snacks. Y'all, I am a snacker. Anybody else a snacker? I'm like, serve me like buffalo cauliflower and like deviled potatoes and I'm golden. Like I don't need anything else. I love snacks. So maybe you dedicate a day of the month for apps and snacks and you just make fun little snacks and apps, and some of them become easy. Again, intuitive, you just make it. It's just a way of life. And others you're like, oh, I want to try this new snack. We'll try that next week. So it allows you also to plug in when you want to try a new recipe, when you're scrolling Pinterest or Instagram and you see somebody has a really yummy stir fry, you can plug that in and you know when you're going to do it and when you need the food for that. So really using this as a template to plug in your recipe. So I'm going to upload it like this, but I'm also going to upload a blank one that will allow you to kind of map out your routines as well. And then classic Saturday, right? Veggie lasagna, shepherd's pie, maybe do lentils or like a potato stew and then potatoes on top, because y'all know I love my carbs and I love my potatoes. Maybe it's a mashed potato dinner with chickpea meatloaf patties. I love the recipe that we have on the blog from the Colorful Kitchens cookbook. They make the meatloaf into patties, which means that it cooks evenly through and it's a nice texture. I love that. Or maybe it's spaghetti and veggie balls, like really thinking about the foods everybody likes and then pulling those in. And then what's fun about this is if you say, well, gosh, every Wednesday, I don't get home from work until 5, and then I have a after dinner event at 6. I only have this much time to cook. Your wild card Wednesday might be 30-minute Wednesday or leftover Wednesday or Fun Fridays. Maybe you're like, the kids always have a sporting activity. Maybe Fun Friday is Fast Friday, and it's foods that are meals that are ready really fast, things you don't have to think about. So it allows you to take your schedule and modify this to make it work for you. And that's the beauty of this, is that we want to make it so eating more plants fits in your busy life, fits in what you are doing. So I'm going to pull this down. I know some of you are probably panicking. I will upload this PDF for you so that you have access to it, as well as a blank copy to be able to work through this yourself. But I really want you to think about how you can make this style of meal planning work for you. Now, if you try it and it doesn't work, that's when we look at another variation. We sit down together. I have a meeting on Monday with a client and we're actually going to meal plan together. Her and I are going to sit down. That's her one-on-one call. We're going to plan her meals for next week because her kids come home from college and she'll be traveling. And we really want to make sure that she's equipped next week with what she needs ahead of time. So there isn't that fly by the seat of your pants, off the cuff, unplanned wish of eating more plants. So really kind of leveraging out this habit, this routine, this plan to make plant-based eating work for you. So I'm back. Here's my face. So how can you do all of that when there's so many other things going on, right? Like you've got recipes over on Pinterest, you've got recipes on Instagram, you've got recipes in cookbooks, right? You get the plan, you plug them all in. You know, I'm lucky. My husband remembers, it seems like, where every recipe is. But for me, I'm like, where was that tomato soup recipe? Where was that lasagna recipe? So underneath them, I just started writing the source. So that's another recommendation that I have for you, is write where that recipe comes from. So now you have a plan, right? It's easy. You just execute the plan. Well, honestly, what I found is that's not true either. Because I used to sell weekly meal plans. And what I found was the people who were most successful with the meal plans paired the meal plan with accountability and support, right? They had an implementation strategy to make it work. And that's why I designed the Academy to have the systems pillar, but also the implementation strategy section, and why accountability is a primary pillar of the program. Because moving forward with intention and a strong focus on implementation allows you to make that change. So tomorrow, we're really going to dig deeper into executing your healthy habits plan, your meal plan, and how that looks in your busy schedule, right? Because all we've done so far is talk about the foods, and I've given you so much information, right? So much content. And now we need to start to align it. We need to take the mindset, the foods, the healthy habit goals, and we need to start to fit them intentionally into your life. So your homework for tonight is to share how you think you can use meal planning, either this variation or another variation, to help you fit the plant foods into your meals. And I'll go over that again at the end of the session, but I really want you to start thinking, how do I move forward with intention? And so I want you to take a minute right now and reflect on everything that we've talked about so far, right? We've done mindset. We've done why eating more plants is beneficial. We've talked about productivity. We've talked about mind clarity. We've talked about health and wellness. Drop some love, some hearts in the chat if you are eager and excited to eat more plants and really move forward on this path. If the content has been valuable and something that really has started to get you thinking about what life could look like in a year, what life could look like in moving forward, right? I really want you to reflect on that. You know, I had somebody told me that they've already scheduled the time in their calendar to look back to see if they've met the goals that they have, right? You're already thinking about where you'll be in a year. I've been reading your homework, right? We've been connecting on messages, calls, and many of you are starting to push forward with action. And some of you may be ready to go it on your own. And that's awesome. You have this great foundation. You have content moving forward, day 5's content and the bonus sessions. They are really going to help you pave your way to eating more plants. But some of you want more. You want accountability. You want support. You're tired of status quo. You're tired of the stopping and the starting. You're tired of reading the book, watching the webinar, and then falling off the wagon 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months after. You're tired of the way that the world has been and really the effect that that has played on your health, your wellness, your productivity. So some of you are just frankly tired of being tired. You're tired of not having the energy. You're tired of being hangry. You're tired of getting home and being like, well, I don't even know what's for dinner. We'll just order takeout. You're tired of spending money on foods that aren't getting eaten, whether it's buying the foods and not using them, or eating takeout all the time and not feeling good after. Maybe you're tired of spending money on medicines and doctors and, you know, over-the-counter pills and things that you're taking that make you feel better in the moment, but don't actually make you feel better long-term. So it is with more excitement than I can even contain that I would like to invite you to work with me in the Academy. And so you've been hearing me talk about it all week, and I'm super excited to announce that the doors of the Eat More Plants Academy are officially open. And the Eat More Plants Academy is bigger and better than our first program, which was successfully plant-based. It's all rebranding. And if you're sitting there thinking, I want this, I want to eat healthier. I want to 10x my energy. I want to increase my productivity. I want 2022 to be my life-changing year. I want to invite you to work with me. The Academy is a healthy habits program that will walk you down your Eat More Plants path, helping you achieve the level of plant-centered eating that you desire. It's designed with inclusion, flexibility, and accountability to support your goal, because we know that not everybody has the same goal. We know that a one-size-fits-all approach is not going to make